Salvete, we're back. We're going to continue with far. We had he was tossed. That's like it's a verb altogether there. Okay, perfect passive participle, perfect passive tense. He was tossed much, both on the lands and on the sea. We superum. Now here's that noun wis, which means violence or force. And this is the ablative form of it. Okay, so by the power, superum, of the gods. Now this is really superorum. They just left out that little syllable because it's hard to scan that into dactylic hexameter. It's hard to fit it in there. So this is actually a genitive, not an accusative. Superorum, okay, of the high ones, the super ones, the gods. By the power of the gods. You want the little arrow going like that? Go ahead. Ob is a preposition. On account of, ob. Notice it down here. On account of, and it always goes with the accusative. Notice he tells you that. Okay, here it goes with the accusative. So then you look for some accusative nouns and adjectives. On account of the memoriam, that's accusative. Iram, that's accusative. Those go together. Okay, so I'm going to link them like that so you can see it visually. On account of the mindful anger, or the remembering anger of Saiwai Eunonis. Okay, now these are not accusatives, but these are genitives. Of savage Juno. And you see this kind of cool way that he does this. We superum Saiwai memoriam Eunonis obiram. And a Roman could take that all in, just fine. But for us, it might visually help to look at it like this because the order is kind of switched around for us. Also, ile, I shouldn't have underlined that singularly. That's a nominative, so I should have double underlined that, as jactatus is nominative too. And jactatus is also really a verb too. So, if you want a squiggly under there too, it's really an adjective and a verb, this part of it, because it is nominative singular and masculine. It goes with ile. And the man who, all these are all referred to in yes. And this one should have been double underlined too. Sorry about that. And this is also a part of a verb, because once you put it with est, it kind of becomes a verb. Okay, let's keep moving. Oh, by the way, this right here, this is called interlocking order. Okay, interlocking order. Okay, or synchesis is another word for it. Okay, and Farr will probably tell you that down here. If you look, in his notes, he's going to tell you that that's interlocking order. It doesn't call it synchesis there, but it is also called that. Okay, let's turn the page. Multa quoquet bello passus. Remember, that elides. Okay. Dum conderet urbem. Oops, sorry. There's my elision. Dum conderet urbem. Inferretque Deos latio genus unde Latinum, Albanique patres at qualtae moenia Romae. At qualtae moenia Romae. So the qualtae, that E goes away. Okay. So we still got our subject in ius. Multa passus. Okay. Et multa quoquet bello passus. So passus is nominative, and it really means passus est. Okay. It really is like a verb here, so you can squiggly if you want. He passus. It comes from patior. He suffered. Okay. Suffered. You might remember multos casus passus est. Okay. Or passa est. He suffered. Multa means many things. This is a neuter, okay? Many things. Also, and this means in bello, in war. So, and he suffered many things also in war. Okay? Because he had to fight a lot of wars in Italy. Dum conderet urbem. This means until he could found, and this is a verb, okay, an urbem, a city, until he could found a city. Now this form right here is imperfect subjunctive because it's like he hasn't actually done it yet. It's not while he is founding a city, it's until he could found a city. He's going to do it in the future sometime, even though it already happened in the past. So that's why I use an imperfect subjunctive. Until he could found a city, that's how you translate it with the could. It's not reality yet. It's going to happen. He's going to suffer all these things in war until he can do this, until he can found a city. And so these are also, this is also imperfect subjunctive. And until he could bear or bring, inferet, it's ferro, that irregular verb, infero, and he could bring his deos, his gods, latio, this is a dative, to Latium. Usually it'd be ad Latium most of the time, but you can use the dative to show direction too. Far's got a note about it. Okay, so ad Latium or latio. And by gods, it means his little idols, you know, that he is going to bring his penates, his household gods. Meaning he's going to bring Troy with him, in a sense, to Italy, because he's a Trojan refugee. Genus unde Latinum. From where? Unde means from where, or whence is a word we don't use in English very much. Whence, and you got to put in a when it here, okay? Whence comes. From where comes the genus Latinum? Now these go together. These are subjects. They're neuter. That's why genus actually meets up with Latinum. This is a third declension neuter. In plural, it would be genera. Genus. From where comes the Latin race? And from where come is veniunt. From where come the Albani patres? Here's the in. The Alban fathers. These are subjects. Meaning the Alban fathers are like, you know, senators or the people that have this name. They're ancient family of Rome. Farr probably has some notes on it. And atque is another way of saying and. Remember, the Romans have several ways of saying and. And the muinia, from where come the muinia, the walls, this is neuter plural, of altai Roma. You see how those go together? Of high Rome. Now, really, the walls are the things that are high, but this just kind of makes it more poetic, more dramatic. The walls of high Rome. And I think there's a term for that when you do that, a literary device. Let's see. It doesn't really say. I'll check on that. The walls of high Rome. So all these things kind of go together until he could found a city and bring his gods to Latium. Latium, this place. Latium is a place in Italy where Rome is going to be founded. Latium, where the word Latin comes from. Bring his gods there, from where comes the Latin race, the Alban fathers, and the walls of high Rome. Okay, we'll go ahead and finish up the last bit here, the invocation of the muse, in the next video.